What's up, guys? It's a moment for me to the meatless, and today I'm gonna try to bring some clarity to the confusion surrounding different ways of eating, like veganism, raw veganism, carnivore, keto, paleo, standard American diet, blah blah blah, you name it. I'm gonna try to bring some clarity from the way I see it, but before I do that, I am a NASM certified personal trainer, and I've been vegan for 10 years, raw vegan for 3, and I've successfully discovered how to put on muscle. I mean, putting on as much muscle as you want to put on, and as well as losing body fat, although not usually at the same time. We usually prioritize one or the other, but to do that on a raw vegan diet, to do that on a vegan diet, I've done it on a raw, on a vegan, and on a high raw vegan diet. So deliberately like losing my muscle and then gaining it back just to make sure that I could do it on each of those diets, which I figured out how to do. So if that's something you're interested in doing and you want to work with me one-on-one, I'll have my email in the description below. You can send me an email and we'll set up a free call and we'll just talk about it. With that being said, let's get into today's video. So today we're going to talk about, like I said, bringing some clarity to the confusion, because the biggest problem I see, guys, the biggest problem in when it comes to this space, this health space, is there's so much information, there's so much aim it a little that way, there's so much, like, turn it, not that, there's so much confusion. Everybody's giving a different perspective, and some of those perspectives are from people, it's aiming up now, some of those perspectives are from people who are knowledgeable, and the vast majority of those perspectives are from people who don't know what they're talking about. Okay, they're people who have heard something and they're literally just parroting it back to you. So I want to bring clarity to this issue and address a couple things. So for you guys that don't know, I'm raw vegan, okay, and I'm a little bit different than what you might expect when you see a raw vegan. You think of a raw vegan as somebody who eats salad and who is skinny. I weigh almost 240 pounds, and I lift really heavy weights, and not like heavy weights for a vegan, but I lift really heavy weights, and I'm almost 40, and in my opinion, and in many people's opinions, I look really, really, really good. I look better than most people that are way younger than me. So I sort of radiate health, right? You can decide yourself. You see me on camera. This is not a high quality camera. There's no special lighting. But there's a reason for that. It's not genetic. The reason for that is the lifestyle that I live. And I think when you understand a few simple basic things, it makes sense. And maybe I can help it make sense to you as well. So the reason why I choose raw vegan is I am alive, obviously. This body is alive, and I eat food for one purpose: energy. Okay? The food that contains the highest energy is living fruits and vegetables. Living fruits and vegetables, okay? First living fruits, then living vegetables, and then it would go down to like other things beyond that. But the food that contains the most energy is living fruits and vegetables, fresh. Not cooked, but fresh. So therefore, since I eat for energy, if I give my body the most energy, okay, then my body is going to be getting the most bang for its buck. Also, living foods contain something called enzymes. Enzymes, to put it simply in a nutshell, it basically is easier for your body to digest. Your body doesn't have to use its enzymes to digest this living food. So your body is able to hold on to this finite resource that it has. It's not infinite, right? So aging is a slow wearing down of the body. It's not something that happens, you're cutting my head off. It's not something that happens in a certain amount of years, right? So that's why one person can be 40 and look 20, and another person can be 40 and look 60. And I know everybody has seen this, right? And another person can be 20 and look 40. You know what I mean? And so it is all over the place. If you look at different people and how they've aged, you can see the proof of this. And we always blame it on genetics. We always blame anything we can't understand on something that we can't see or aiming too far up. So, but there is a connection. Obviously, science is starting to figure this out. If you look at, some of the people that are reverse aging, scientists, and I know you guys have heard of like Brian Johnson. He's not a scientist, but he's got a bunch of scientists that he works with. People like David Sinclair. These people are reverse aging in front of our eyes in real time, right? And they're doing it on a plant-based diet because, aim it down a little, because they have done it. They've tried to do it on, well, now I'm speaking specifically of like David Sinclair. He's tried to do it with meat, and he's found that with a whole food plant-based diet, it's crooked. It's crooked now. With a whole food plant-based diet, he ages slower. He was able to reverse his aging more. Okay, even more than like a Mediterranean diet. But that being said, they have not, aim it down, they have not done studies on anybody that's following a raw vegan diet, right? We just don't have the studies. We don't know. So it's up to us to, and it always has been, aim it down a little, it always has been, but to use our common sense. And I really think it is common sense. I mean, a lot of people don't get it, but I really think it's common sense. Like, you eat living food, it's going to be better for you than if you eat dead food. When you cook your food, you do kill it. You do kill the food. I mean, it's like your food is it's just like you. If I cook you, you'll be dead, right? There will be less energy in your body. I can measure that, right? So the same thing with your food, the same principle. Your food is alive, and when you cook it, you kill it. So as soon as you kill it, now you're eating dead food, but you have a living body, so you don't need to eat dead food. So that's why I choose to eat a raw, living food lifestyle. And you can't, by the way, a lot of people eat raw meat. I mean, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but on social media, a lot of people eat raw meat these days, which is, it's a pretty dangerous thing to do. But trust me, it is a pretty dangerous thing to do. You can, if you look for the people who've had some serious issues come because of that, there are a lot. But eating raw meat, it's still dead. The food is still dead. The animal's still been killed long ago. It's been chopped to pieces. So it's not living, even if it's raw. Even if it's raw. Yes, the raw meat contains more energy than the cooked meat, which is why people that eat raw meat don't have to eat as much as people that eat cooked meat. People who eat cooked meat have to eat like 3 times as much. So keep that in mind, right? So people who eat raw meat are going to age slower than people who eat cooked meat. And I don't even like to call it meat, right? It's animals. They're eating animals. But beings, living beings, even beyond that, right? Because we have a negative connotation to the word animal. Animals are beneath us, but we're animals. By the terms that we define animals by, we're animals as well. So we're eating other fellow living beings is what that really is. So when you eat like a carnivore diet, let's say it's super popular, when you eat like that, you're eating, first of all, there's the violence that has to take place, okay? There's the use, the enslavement of another being that has to take place. And you can justify that or not. I'm not going to argue with anybody on that. I'm not trying to argue with anybody. I'm not trying to tell anybody to do what I do. I'm just offering my perspective. This is my place to offer my perspective. So for you people that like to, come into the comments and troll and argue and all of that, you guys don't understand life. Everybody has their own opinion and they're entitled to it. And when you come to somebody's video, they're going to give you their opinion. And they didn't ask for yours. That's the different thing, is you clicked on my video. So I didn't click on your video. If your perspective is something that I don't want to know or that I already understand, then I don't need to click on that. And if I did, I certainly wouldn't leave a comment. I wouldn't dislike. I would just get the hell out of there. So I advise some of you people who are maybe a little bit immature to do the same thing. If you don't like a video, if you don't agree with the topic and you can't listen to someone that you disagree with peacefully and see their valid points, the valid points that they have, then just leave. But yeah, so and then when it comes to other diets, right? Keto, vegetarian, so on and so forth, you can see the same principles that I just said would apply. to those diets. So that is why I choose to eat a raw living food diet. Now, if you eat a whole food plant-based diet, that can be extremely healthy as well. You know, I know a lot of people talk, aiming a little down, I know a lot of people talk about, you know, oh, I did that and I was sick and blah, blah, but trust me, people lie through their teeth. They lie so much. People say, oh, I was eating like this, I was vegan, and you come to find out they were eating animal products. People say I was raw, you come to find out, but they were eating chips. People say I was whole foods, and you come to find out they were eating some junk food too. It's like, dude, you can't say you were doing something and you were doing it 80%, 70%, 60%. You were not doing it. You were not doing it. So these diets, I struggle to see why 99.9% of people can't thrive on them. Most people do best eating this kind of a diet if they know some basic nutritional information. You do have to eat like a well-rounded, balanced diet. You know, that's the important thing to do. Very important for longevity and diversity in the gut microbiome. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to offer a little bit of clarity in the confusion and simplicity. I'm not the science guy. I'm just going to tell you common sense. You know, eating living food makes sense for the reasons I just said, and many more that I won't go into now. Maybe I will in the future. Eating plants, which are less dense, most are less dense than things like meat and so on. It's going to be easier on the body. Eating whole foods, generally speaking, is going to be easier on the body than eating processed foods. Eating food that has not been the source of misery and suffering for a living creature who's been violently murdered. It's going to be better on an energetic perspective if you understand energetics and things like that. So yeah, guys, with all that being said, this is just kind of the basic intro to this. If you guys want more on this, let me know down below. You guys, everybody that watches this that agrees, don't just give a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Talk about your perspective. Say what you agree with. What do you believe? You know, how do you feel? Because the people that disagree have the loudest voices. So everybody with common sense, speak up. Let your voice be heard. Leave a comment. And I'll see you guys in the next one. All right? Peace.